reason. And that's good. That's good. And look, it happened. And the problem is we're carrying around these devices. And by all appearances, one of the NFL sportsbook partners ratted on him. He used his phone. He placed a bet. He shouldn't have done it. It was stupid. It's hypocritical. The NFL making all this money off of gambling, but thou shalt not gamble. And I know every time I say that, well, they are allowed to make those rules. They're the NFL. If they don't like it, they should go do something else. I don't care. It's still hypocritical that they're making millions and millions and millions from sports books, and thou shalt not bet. Miles Austin got thrown out of the league for a year as the Jets receivers coach for betting on basketball. So, I know that's the rule. Calvin Ridley did it. He served his time, and now he comes back, and he makes the Jaguars better if he plays like he did before he had the health issues that contributed to him not being with the Falcons, that gave him the occasion and the opportunity to place the wager that got him suspended for a year. It may have been one of the smartest trades the Jaguars ever made, completely unexpected. Trade deadline last year, boom, Ridley becomes a Jaguar, and now he's back. And the Jaguars at a time when everything feels good anyway, feels even better for the Jaguars that he's back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge acquisition for them, and they really didn't have to give up very much for who we know is somebody who we know is a talented receiver. But I think it's not just that, he did all that stuff. It's that he's taken accountability for it. And so reading through that Players Tribune piece, to me, that was a lot better than some of those Players Tribune pieces that they put out there. And that's not necessarily disrespect to anybody else, but it's just the truth. I mean,
wow. Players
like
Tribune,
memoir.
Catching strays. Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, it's just the way it is, man. Like that read like a memoir. I read a lot of memoirs, and that you really feel like you got a chance to know what Calvin Ridley's story was. And he wasn't necessarily making excuses, but I think he was explaining how he got to the point where he was at. And, when you do something like that, it creates a lot of empathy. And I think it takes courage. It takes courage to lay out what your family history is, as he did. It takes courage to really say what it was that you were going through and explain how you got to the point where you bleeped up, right? Where you made what you term the worst mistake of your life. And so now he is coming back from that. And I think it's a really cool redemption story, because it's not like he did something that was completely detrimental to other folks, right? He did something that was detrimental to himself. He owns it. He takes accountability for it. And now he's ready to make up for it. So I'm rooting for Calvin Ridley. I am.
Anytime I hear the word memoir now, I'm reminded of the alternative pronunciation I first became aware of in the great film Burn After Reading, where John Malkovich repeatedly calls it memoir. And it was something that was repeated in the excellent show Shrinking on Apple TV. Harrison Ford says memoir as well. And Jason Segel busted him on it and eventually said something along the lines of, tell Papa to say hi to memoir, or something like that. So I didn't deliver it nearly as well as Jason Segel did. That is an excellent show, by the way. Highly recommend it to anyone out there, even though it's not on Peacock. That I'm probably going to get in more trouble for that than if I had dropped the F-bomb earlier on Calvin Ridley. Okay, so Calvin Ridley back, hasn't played in a game since October 24, 2021. But when you look at the weapons the Jaguars have, when you look at where Trevor Lawrence currently is and where the arrow is pointing, what Doug Peterson's done with him, another reason for excitement in Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.